7:03, I guess I'm calling the meeting to order. This is the Community Preservation Committee meeting for October 4th, 2023. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number of 840-0877-2826 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, the Assistant Town Manager, at atm@ayer.ma.us or call 978-772-8220 extension 100 prior to the meeting during business hours. All right, again, thank you very much, everybody. We've had some nice days of sunshine. Too bad that we've got some rain coming, and I just saw the emails where the Newton Street Festival is going to be on Sunday instead, 11 to 5, instead of Saturday because of the rain. Let's go. All right. Again, thank you. I've got the agenda here. Is anybody see anything that they may want to change on the agenda? One thing I want to note for people is I moved public participation down a little bit further, so that they may, the public can still, ask the questions and whatever comments and concerns they might have later on in the meeting after they've listened to some of the deliberation that happens throughout the the old business and new business. So I may keep it there depending upon how many people show up. So just wanted to point that out. If there's no corrections to the agenda, can I have a motion to accept the agenda as written, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as written.
All right, Colleen makes the motion. Can I have a second? Barry seconds. I saw the...
Second.
You got it. All right, Barry seconds. Side. Let's do a roll call. Beth?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Colleen?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Jess?
Aye.
And the chair says aye, so it's been approved. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to go ahead and read the minutes for September 6th. I didn't see any type of update because definitely, we've got Jess here, does a great job. Thank you. Does anybody have any corrections or updates that they might make for those minutes?
No,
Right.
I think they were perfect as usual.
Exactly. All right, then can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion. Except
Barry.
the minutes is written.
Okay, Barry makes the motion. Can I have a second?
Seconded.
Julie seconds. All right, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Beth?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Colleen?
I wasn't at the meeting, so I should probably abstain.
Okay. All right.
I think that people can still vote on minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, then
From what
aye.
I've heard of elsewhere.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Barry
Yes.
and Jess.
Aye.
And the chair says aye, so we got that. All right, correspondence and invoices. One thing that we do have is correspondence from Sandy Pond School. There has been a change of order, which Irv alluded to in his comments last meeting, that prices have gone up. So they have a change of order from the general contractor, Gerald O'Doherty, and it's an increase of $6,670 and that's labor and materials for electrical service upgrades, etc. So it's $6,670, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be passing this on to be approved, to be paid. I just got it, so. And then one of the other correspondences that we did have, and I have it as being part of new business, but I think everybody's part of the coalition's email, and you've got an update where the CPA surplus funding may be decreased because of the wording really was dropped from some of the new budget guidelines, but that happened as well last year, and it got re-added in, so they're just giving us a warning that it may end up being dropped by about 33% if they can't work on trying to get the funding into the little treasure chest that they do have. So,
And you said that's due to some wording that was in the,
yeah, again, it goes ahead and, bear with me. What ends up happening is you've got rising interest rates, declining home sales within the state, because people aren't selling, even though we're selling homes, but they're not selling as many homes as they thought they would. So there's going to be a drop in those surplus dollars, but also the language. There's like a surplus language was dropped from the state budget in a line item veto or whatever. But they hopefully they will do the same thing as they did the year before and just keep pushing at it, and it ends up getting put into the legislature. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right, so I sort of like put those two things together. The old business, I mean, unless anybody else has any other correspondence or invoices or anything else?
Mm-mm.
Nope. All right. So the next item is old business, the fall town meeting. I've got a meeting with Jeff Tillotson and it will be the hat that he'll be wearing for the interim chair for the trust. I've got a meeting with him tomorrow to discuss a housing forum that's going to happen on October 19th. So with that will be some of the other items that we'll go ahead and just talk about for presentation on the affordable housing trust request for the 200,000 to see whether or not he wants any type of PowerPoint presentation or whatever. I mean, I'll have something ready more than likely, but just get that okay. Is there any concerns that people have or questions with regards to that request? Colleen, pretty much was a thumbs up at the trust? Because I think you guys just had a meeting last week, right?
We did not meet last week.
Oh, okay.
We didn't really have anything on the agenda, so
Okay.
postponing till later this month. I think we may meet before town meeting. I'm not quite sure, but
All right.
So
Okay.
Janet, you're going to be acting as interim chair.
No, Jeff is interim chair of the
Okay.
trust.
Okay, so who's presenting it at town meeting? Because he's moderator.
He's moderator, yeah. That would be my question to ask of him if he's going to have somebody, because Sean is the one who was here at the application process and the public hearing, but he's going to also be on the stage. So I don't.
James, I can answer that question. I think James Stevens is going to be the one presenting it at town meeting. And then I said I would be there for backup as well. But yeah, I think James, who's the vice chair, will be the one presenting it.
Excellent. All right. I like the sound of that. Thank you. All right. Any other questions that people might have? Oh, okay. moving on, like I say, I went ahead and included both as the correspondence for the new business. Does anybody else have anything new business wise? I don't.
No,
No?
not I.
Okay.
All I can say is that if, based on the meeting that's going on right now about Flanagan Pond access, down the road, will eventually probably be an application for CPC funds.
All right. Excellent.
It's not a cheap thing.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine. Hold on.
The engineering, I think the cheapest one that doesn't include land acquisition, the engineering on the cheapest one would be about over 400,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong job.
That's without purchasing the property.
Right.
Oof.
Well, yeah. The most expensive one, they were looking at 3 locations. So
Can you tell us what the 3 locations are?
one is at the end of Joyce Lane, which is it's a paper road owned by the town, but it would require a long roadway to get to the pond. It's sort of in between where Penard's, the coffee shop is, and Groveland. So that's in that location. And that one would be about $1 million because of the paving getting down to the pond and such. The next one is a waterfront property that's been for sale on Groton Harvard Road for the last couple of years.
That little piece.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's not I mean, there's a lot of cons with that. In particular, that when the pond level's low, you just don't really have access to the water because Flanagan Pond is very shallow there. And that would also then include needing to purchase the land. And then the third one, which I personally think is the most viable, would be doing something around the Central Street pump station. And that one, I think the price tag on that is around 500,000. So
Yeah, I hear one of the major drawbacks with regards to the pump station is that people are parking so that the water department can't get in and out and do their job.
yeah, the conceptual design they were showing has parking spaces, and then a separate area for DPW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody did ask why are there no trespassing signs up there now? And it's like, well, because they needed to access the pump house a few years ago and cars were parked there. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. It's like, well, just to go ahead and give people an idea, Jess, I always say this, and hopefully I do it. I can give you, what we have for budgets for what's remaining in our fund. Except
I wouldn't worry about that now.
okay, all right,
Jeff,
no problem.
did the consultants identify potential grants that we can use for the design and construction?
Well, that would be down the road, and I think they have a consultant working with the DPW, and I think they would be exploring that. But I know I couldn't stay for the whole meeting because I had to get here. So
Sure. Yeah, because it seems like there should be some good opportunities for pursuing other state funds and things like that. And then there's always the waterfront access folks that I don't know if they've already been engaged with Fish and Wildlife, but like talking it over with them. And then the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council has also really been interested in river access as well. So, that's something to think about in terms of, such a big investment. Would we prefer Flanagan, or would we prefer the Nashua, or, just, like the partners that we would have available for such pursuits?
yeah,
So.
yeah. think tonight's thing was they had done the feasibility study to look at 8 possible areas. And the idea being to narrow it down to 3, and then to start holding like a public meeting that's tonight to get feedback to narrow that down further to 1, so that then they can really dig in on, more precise plans and costs. And I would assume that would include other funding opportunities. Being led by the
Sounds good.
DPW.
Good update.
Yeah, the DPW is the leader on this one, not conservation, because we would also then have to review the project since it's in buffer zone.
Mhm. But it's nice to know of other places, other agencies that
Yeah.
may have some grants. So thanks, Beth. All right. Anything else with regard to possible new business? I know it's not on the agenda, but I usually like to have people talk about the committee reports. How about if anything going on with conservation?
No, nothing much new from last time.
All right. Historic, Barry?
With Maggie's help, working with Cindy, the Ayer Historical now has a YouTube channel, and we have our own space on, or I should say, Facebook. And the reasoning for that is we had no place to store where we'd like to implement our oral histories project, but we had nowhere to put it. So Maggie again worked with Cindy, and they got somehow worked out Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, you can find the Ayer Historical site, although there's nothing on there right now. And then there's also, we're on YouTube as well, and there's nothing on there yet as well. So other than the pages there, I haven't got into the either of the sites. I just checked to make sure they were there, but I don't believe there's anything on it just yet. So.
That's great.
And then we're also working on a sign, hopefully to have the grant ready for the Mass Cultural Council. And we want to put a sign up by the rail trail similar to what Groton and Pepperell has, having a map to show from Ayer all the way up to Nashua what it looks like. And some events, what's going on in Ayer and how long the rail trail is, and just have it. Put signs for, places you can go to eat and stuff like that. So
I thought I heard that part of the rail trail washed out with one of those heavy rain events.
yes, I was talking with Jeff yesterday, and he said that with some luck, that should be completed hopefully within the week. I thought it was going to be a lot longer, but I don't know if did you see pictures of it?
I did see one picture.
It was pretty nasty. It was pretty deep.
Who's doing the repair of it?
I don't know. I know Jeff knows, but I don't know.
I just got an update from DCR. Actually, I was at a conference today. The DCR had indicated that they are hoping to get the temporary fix essentially done in short order, but that there would be a longer-term hydrological study and culvert replacement that would follow at a later time, but that they're wanting to get the more immediate repairs done soon. I believe that Stantec is the consultant working on it.
Yeah, I actually heard that the permanent fix would probably be almost a year out, I guess, from what I understood, but
It's
could
quite
be that. But the temporary one hopefully should be up and running soon.
Yeah.
That's my rides to Pepperell.
I know, all of a sudden you can't get there from here now.
No,
Yeah, not until there. All right. Colleen, the trust? Is there anything else, Barry, with historic?
I'm sorry, what?
Is there anything else with historic?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. All right, Colleen?
No, I don't have anything. We haven't met since our last
Okay.
CPC meeting.
All right, that sounds good. Jason, Parks?
Yes, big news. So we put out to bid the construction of the playground, the main structures. That went out to bid last week. The bids are due the 12th, so next Thursday. We had a pre-bid meeting today. I wasn't able to attend, but there was a pre-bid meeting down at the park today for any interested parties that wanted to put a bid in. I guess we had a few, and they all seemed pretty interested. So, and then there was one in particular. I guess it's a company. I didn't get the names of the companies that were there today, but at least one of them has done business with the town before. So we're pretty confident we'll get a bid by next week. Obviously, we'll have to see how those come in and see how that goes. So that's great for the main structure, but the really exciting stuff is we have this local company called Lighthouse Tree Works. It's a gentleman named Brad Spinney, who's a resident here, offered to basically take all of our trees and cut them, mill them, and start forming our nature play section. So he's been working on that over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to probably try to get down there this weekend to see what he's done, but he's already got some benches cut out and he's got like our platforms ready to go. So that nature play section should be under construction pretty soon here. So, we're moving along with that, and, hopefully we get good bids next week and we can get a contract set up for construction, and hopefully we can get the materials in time. Obviously that we ordered those, but we're sort of at the mercy of the suppliers. Everything goes well, we should hopefully be able to start break ground before the winter. Worst case scenario, we're building in the spring and still on track to open next spring.
All right. That's good to hear.
So yeah, exciting stuff, definitely.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else with parks?
You want more than that?
One of the questions that came up at the meeting on the Flanagan Pond accessibility tonight was the also perennial one of what about public boat access for canoes and kayaks and such on Sandy Pond? So
I'll have to check, but I mean, we do have that little boat ramp sort of at the end of the driveway where the basketball courts are, past the basketball courts. We don't block access to that off, so I'm pretty sure people can launch right there. I mean, I don't think there's any prohibition to using the pond down there with the name is I'm drawing a blank on the name. So I can't think of the name. Anyway, the pond at Peroni, yeah, I don't think there's any prohibition. I think people still take canoes out to the little island, and there's some duck blinds over there where they do duck hunting, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you're talking Grove Pond.
Grove Pond, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've only been on the park commissioner for 15 years and can't remember the name.
It was so funny. I finally figured out where Plowshop Pond was. I always thought that it was on Barnum Road side, and it's not.
Right?
Yeah.
There somewhere, but
yeah,
as far as I know, people can ride down that, go down the side parking lot past our building, past the basketball courts, and at the end there's a little ramp that they can launch into.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't fall overboard. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's where we have the kayaks to go ahead and do when Pace goes out and does the water chestnut harvesting. That's the ramp that they use to put the canoes and the kayaks out there.
Well, that's not the same ramp on Sandy Pond, though, right? That's a different.
No, we're talking Grove Pond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, were you asking about Sandy Pond? I thought you were asking
Pond.
about Peroni Park.
No.
I mean, I don't know. We'd have to talk about it off season. We don't want people swimming, so we put the sort of the winter fence up just to keep people out. I mean, it's not a permanent barrier, but yeah, I mean, I could bring it up to the commission at our next meeting to revisit that to see what, we're thinking. I mean, obviously during the swim season, we don't allow it because it's more of a parking issue than anything else.
Yeah.
There sort of is space to throw a kayak or canoe out to the side of the swim site, but we want this parking for the patrons of the swimming at the beach. So,
All right. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
but if
like
we ever get that parcel of land next door, then or across the street and do parking there for the and put an easement to the pond,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That particular parcel, wasn't that that was one of the ones, Janet, you had me bid on when it was up?
Yeah, but I for a while there it took it off the market, and then I don't know if it's still back on the market. That was my question that I was going to ask.
Because Judge Gardner bid on it at the auction, which you loved.
That's the one on Snake Hill. That was one of the ones on Snake Hill.
Yeah,
But
that's the one that Jason's talking about for
is
parking.
it? Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought maybe across Sandy Pond. There was a property for sale there, but I think it went off the market. Sort of like at the corner of Snake Hill on the other side, and you got Cannon Gate, the house on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then you'd need a crosswalk and all that. But you get the flashing, crosswalk sign and.
Do you know what's happened with that property, the one kitty corner to the town beach?
Don't know.
I do know we've mentioned this at our commission meeting. A couple of our waterways signs that the Nashua River Grant helped us put in, one for Sandy Pond and one for Flanagan Pond went missing. And I guess when town got involved with taking over that property, kitty corner, they found them in the basement.
Those things happen. Oh well, it's like all right. Well, like I say, that's one on my radar to go ahead and keep watching. So, all right. I'm moving on.
I
Julie?
would
Pardon?
just a comment that I would recommend consideration of boat launch feasibility from the Sandy Pond Beach area, like somehow to be considered, because I think, I understand that when the beach is open and lifeguards are on duty and everything, that, it might not be feasible, but there are other hours, morning and evening times and things like that, that it might be an opportunity to explore. And then I would really just discourage the use of the fencing, because I think, I understand that you don't want people swimming, but there's certainly a lot more to experience at the pond's edge than swimming. And, when we're limiting access to a public space and, people's enjoyment of being able to just make observations, right at the water's edge and things is, something to consider, but we can certainly talk about it another time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, those are things that we got to talk about with the commission. I mean, if you want to send Chris and Jeff an email, we can definitely put it on. If you have any thoughts, I mean, I'll definitely bring it up, but if you have specific questions or thoughts, Beth or anybody else, we definitely want the feedback. I think we're trying to be as open as possible to comments, feedback, suggestions. So,
Great, thank you. And it's great news about the playground too. So nice to hear, and we look forward to next week, where we'll hopefully have even better news. So thank you
Definitely.
for the update.
Of course.
Okay. All right, Julie, planning board.
Yeah, I don't have much to update either. We're still working on West Main Street and Stratton Hill. We'll be back with a definitive plan next week.
Okay. All right, Beth, anything with regards to open space?
A couple things that I was just going to ask Julie on West Main Street. It looks like for the last several meetings that they've just been asking for an immediate continuation. But are they submitting updates for like the next meeting? Do you know?
I believe they are, Beth, but I really can't speak to that. If my memory serves me right, if there's been two continuations, the first one was just because of a scheduling conflict. And then it really, like, there was just a inconvenient piece to that. And then this most recent continuance was last minute, so we didn't know that that was coming. But
Okay. Yep. I've just been trying to watch for both of those projects. So
Yep.
I'll keep my eyes on the page. And I appreciate, that staff and the planning board have been posting updated submissions and things like that. It just makes it really easy for residents to be aware of what's coming before the board. So thank you. For open space, I just was going to mention that at the McPherson Road area, where we had gotten the joint funding from the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council for Ayer and Devens and the Oxbow National Wildlife Refuge, that project has advanced, and we're going to have one more work day on the pollinator meadow that was installed at the triangle of McPherson Road and Filterbed Road and Bishop Road. One more work day on that, and the signs, the interpretive panels that we got with the grant funding, I think were just installed today. At least one of the two was. And then we're going to have a kind of grand opening celebration for that. So I will share it with everyone, but stay tuned for that to hopefully happen within the next month.
Excellent.
So after mosquito season. So
For sure.
They are out again.
Oh yeah, I just got two good bites today. Yeah, but that's good to hear, Beth.
Yeah. And then the new trail that was installed along the Nashua River, we're calling it the Nashua River Trail. It's a short one, but it is a nice area to access the river, and that was really one of the priorities, was just recognizing that from Ayer we don't have any access to the river. You hardly even know the river's there. And so this was one of the points within the refuge that we recognized we could provide a walking trail adjacent to the river. So that is now being maintained by Devon's DPW and is a nice area to visit. So
About where is that trail?
it's accessed from the Hunter parking lot, if you know what we refer to as the Hunter parking lot. So when you're at the triangle, like on McPherson Road, it's been closed so much due to the high water this summer. So I know people haven't been out there that much, but whenever you're at the triangle and you're going on if you're continuing the throughway, if you take the right and then in front of you is the wastewater pump house and screening station that is for Devon's wastewater treatment. If you kind of turn to the left instead of proceeding to the wastewater facility, you go down the left driveway and then there's another smaller parking lot, and that's where the trailhead is.
Thank you.
I'll definitely share information whenever we have more available. But we do have an updated map that's now on the Devon's website. I'm not sure that it's available on the Ayer website yet, but we'll make sure we get that all coordinated.
Excellent. Thanks, Beth. That'd be a good place to go ahead, because you're right. A lot of people don't realize that that Nashua River is there. So, all right.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Housing. The Housing Authority had a resident picnic last Wednesday, and it was a good turnout. Then the other thing was the Affordable Housing Committee is on October 19th at 6 o'clock. We're having a public information forum in the Great Hall at Town Hall, where we want to get feedback from residents of Ayer to what they want to see of future of housing within Ayer, what type of style, what where the developments, how, density would be better, being downtown area versus out in the, again, we don't have a lot of land anyways. So again, trying to figure out how we can get affordable housing within the area. So again, it's going to be 6 o'clock. There'll be pizza, beverages, a little interactive dots sticking on posters at the beginning, and then we'll have a panel of experts at the end, which will include planning board, DPW, someone from CHAPA, someone from NOAA, so this way here, people can ask questions with regard to these panel of experts. So it's going to be a pretty good night, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything can move quickly and get some information out there for individuals who are concerned about how things are progressing. Go ahead, Barry.
I was just going to say, if that's something you think you want to record it, just ask Trevor, and then
Yeah, I've already sent an email to Trevor because I'm concerned. I heard that the transportation public forum went really well.
yes.
Yeah, and because people are concerned about the acoustics within that room.
Bad at all, actually.
Pardon?
It wasn't bad at all.
Correct.
From PA system, well, they had somebody running the PA, so they had it was Hunter. I don't know if you know Hunter from the high school there, but he does all the sound. And then we just ponied off the back of his soundboard into one of the cameras, so it was well set up. So
Right. So what I plan on doing is just sending it back to Trevor again to do whatever they did, and same thing with Chuck. Do whatever they did for the transportation forum, because I heard that the sound was great.
yeah, and it was such a great turnout, not just Air residents, but we had folks from Lunenburg and Littleton as well as I think Groton, I think.
And
Well,
Harvard, and I heard Harvard was there too as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Again, we're all in it together.
Janet, for the housing forum, do you know if someone will be speaking to the MBTA Communities Act and that specifically?
Well, I mean, that will be something that Alan Minoyan's going to be covering. So, he'll have that. But if there is a specific question that you don't hear that the conversation's being raised, then that would be something that can be asked as well. But yes, it will be covered.
Good, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Hopefully see you there. All right, so that's it for housing. And is there anything else people want to bring up? Then I'm going to say, with regards to public participation, I don't see anybody additional from the public here on the Zoom meeting. But if there's any questions whatsoever with regards to what's going on with the CPA funds or CPC, the committee here, please give a call over to Carly Antonellis, and she will go ahead and let us know, and we'll be able to respond. Also, too, we do have an email address of cpc@ayer.ma.us. You can email us with your question. So again, thank you for listening. If there's nothing else, can I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I just want to ask, if I may, the date of the housing forum.
October 19th, it's a Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I'll be,
Janet?
wait a minute, I'll be sending out an invite to many of the committees, so you're going to be getting one, Barry. Go ahead, Beth.
Yep, sorry. I was just wondering, and I'm sorry if this was brought up at the past meeting that I wasn't able to attend, but if we have any update on the historic firehouse and that development, since they had started demo and then it stopped. I just didn't know what the situation was with that.
It's a private entity right now, so that's in Seal Harbor's hands. They do know, again, about the step gables, that if they touch those, they owe the CPC back money. So I don't have any major updates at all because, again, it's a private entity that now owns it. Sorry, Beth, I wish
Okay,
I
yeah.
had
But
more.
sure if there was some kind of permit issue that they had initiated and then stopped, that they didn't have their permits or something, but I just wasn't sure. But okay, thank you.
Okay, I mean, I know Julie might know a little bit more. I mean, you're talking about permits. Is that something that the planning board would have been working on, or?
No, we haven't
Or
heard
building.
that.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I'll see if I can find out something, Beth, and maybe have something for the next meeting. I know I've been trying to keep pushing for 14 William Street and see what's going on with that building. All right. Okay, if there's nothing else, have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Barry makes the motion. I have a second.
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 All right, go for it, Jess and Jason. All right, and I think all in favor, aye.
Heidi.
All right, again,
Aye.
everybody, thank you so
Good night.
much.